Hey guys, Montgomery Rails here, coming to you once again. We're going to discuss today about the Appalachian Southern, the track planning, and covering some finished locomotives on the roster. Yes, you heard me right, I actually finished 2 of the locomotives. Thank God. So let's get into it. First off, this is number 200. It is an SW1500 with flex coil trucks. It is in the ex-Southern Pacific, which we covered in an earlier video. As you can see, it's all been put back together and looking really good there. Then we have number 715, which is also completed, which is a Cato snoot nose, and it has the safety stripes in the front, the American flag, and the white pinstriping right there, which is really sharp looking. For the safety warning decals, I used microscale decals for those, but the rest of these are highball graphics decals. And then, of course, you guys know about the 45 tunnel motor already. So we're going to be discussing today about some of the track planning, and keep in mind I'm using the Cato track just as a referencing tool for me. This will not actually be the track I use. I'll be using Microengineering Code 83 and Pico Code 83. So, as we can see here, we have, this is supposed to represent the end, towards the end wall. The next section that would be here in all reality would be the curb section, which is another 2 feet, 2 feet depth, 2 feet wide, but would be in a L-shaped 90-degree corner. There'll be 3-yard tracks going into the wall. It'll be a stub end yard because I don't have room for a continuous yard like I would like, but a stub end yard is fine as long as we can hold a decent amount of rail cars. I'm thinking each track will be able to hold about 6 or 7 cars, which that's not too bad in HO scale. Considering we're holding things like plastics hoppers, 85-foot cars, things of that nature. The other thing we've got to look at here is the main, old main, new main, or new main, old main. These would be tied into a curb track, which would go to a 24 to 22 degree radius. Interior 22, exterior 24. This track will be primarily closed to basic mainline services because it'll be really utilized by your yard switching power and your local power to switch in and out of the yard, which would, the starting point of the yard would be probably way down there, keep in mind. So that's something to really think about. And then there's nothing stopping me from doing a small engine service track or something, although I really haven't planned on it. And then right here, which has always been planned, and it'll continue, I just ran off track, but continue a little ways away, would be Whitfield Foods, which would be a warehouse about this length, about 3 or 4 inches wide by about 10 inches long. It would have truck bay doors right here, and then there will be a truck holding lot. And then at the end there will be tanks for your corn syrup hoppers. Whitfield Foods here in Montgomery really services 2 corn syrup tankers, I believe it is, and you could see where they used to service other rail cars, but they only service corn syrup now. But from my lab, we'll also be serving box cars, and mostly reefers, so keep that in mind. Now, eventually, off the new main, we'll have another switch going into Sable Steel, which would service 2 to 3 standard gondolas. And when I say standard gondolas, I'm talking about thrall guns, mill guns, standard, just every day of the run mill gondolas. I'm a fan of guns, so that's something to consider. Somewhere along this line, it might actually be here, it might be down here, but eventually there'll be a 4-lane highway overpass, which would symbolize the northern bypass or the North Boulevard here in Montgomery. That prototype bridge goes over, it is 4 lanes, but it goes over the S&N-A, the old L&N yard. Mine would represent going over the Western Railway's yard. So, and then on down this way, you'll have the MRSX interchange point, which would be off the old main, because they'll bring in cars to the yard and interchange with Appalachian Southern, and then bring cars back, which in all reality the train would terminate right at the wall, and we would take the cars off, put them in a box, take them up to Calera to Montana Moats layout, and interchange them through that yard. So it's a continuous op with that portion. Now, there might be another industry along this, along the 15-foot wall, but for now all I have is Whitfield Foods, the rail yard, and Sable Steel. I might end up doing Wade Sand and Gravel somewhere towards this way, or or even Lafarge Cement. In all reality, the gravel plant should be somewhere around in this area, but due to space restraints, I don't think I have the room for it, because I don't want to make I don't want to make it feel overly crowded. And I want to have some scenery, I want to have some roads, housing, development, stuff like that. But that is the update for now, guys. I want to thank Hank again and Highball Graphics for doing these amazing decals. Seriously, if you guys are watching this, you outdid yourselves. Thank you. If you guys are interested in purchasing Appalachian Southern decals, I'll be contacting Highball Graphics in the next week or so and putting the decals up for public use, meaning you can buy them. And eventually we will be releasing freight cars and even a patch set eventually. So just stay with us, and we'll get on it as soon as possible. Oh yeah, there's one more project I want to show you guys here. Sorry if you guys are just watching Bearwood. This is the shoving platform I finished right here, and built this off of a Atlas caboose that I had laying around. And I did the old yield to trains, use your brains, everyone gains decals from a Kansas City Southern Graphics set, which looks really sharp, and an American flag set from a Conrail Norfolk Southern patch set. Those are micro-scale data plates, smokebox graphic FRA tape, and micro-scale Gothic, well, I think it's Gothic letters, standard white decals. And then I did scale coat blue on this thing of Polyscale blue. The only thing is I messed up and I should have sanded that part a little bit more, but it's okay because the rest of the car looks really nice. Scale coat Conrail blue, and then used Model Master silver and some acrylic white. And it turned out pretty sharp here. So I figured I'd show that. That will be a lot of local service yard shoving platforms and things of that nature. But the other last thing I have is the absolute last update I have. Is I've been looking for one of these cars for a long ass time, but I've never been able to afford the prices they were asking. I got myself a old LBF Hubert's Skybox, and for those of you who don't know what these cars are, these are aircraft parts cars. They still use them to this day. These cars are massive. They're about as tall as an auto rack, actually. They carry fuselage parts for Boeing aircraft or Lockheed aircraft. And once in a while we'll get a special train of these coming through Montgomery, and it will just be 2 or 3 of these cars, sometimes even one. And they'll have an old caboose and 1 or 2 engines pulling these cars. So I bought one and put the kit together. I picked up the kit for like $20 off of eBay. I gotta get a better BNSF patch on this thing so that yellow doesn't look right. But yes, really wicked car. So if anyone knows where I can get another one of these HO cars at a very cheap price, let me know, please. But thanks, guys. That's the only other update I have, and hope you guys have a great weekend. This is Radisson signing off.